So the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film.
Great. And about damn time, if you ask me. So, Disney have appeased Xenu by casting Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy as the director of the latest Star Wars movie that's set to come out in 2026.
You can say that the force is strong with this one.
And this is a genius move for more than one reason. I mean, not only are they expelling some of the harmful engrams from their earthly bodies, you know, before their thetans fly off to the Venusian landing stations to be repurposed, but the directors of Disney, the board directors, have actually killed two birds with one stone, because they're addressing one of the other problems that, you know, you might want to look at if you're in the film making industry, and that is dwindling ticket sales. And they have addressed it by really putting their ear to the ground and saying, what is it that the cinema goers want and our films are lacking? What's that? Well, why didn't you say so? Give the people what they want. Add more diversity.
Here's Sharmeen Obaid Chinoy.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special.
Yeah, very special needs. Is that Sadiq Khan? Oh, that crazy old mayor of London really has got his grubby little fingers in all the diversity pies, hasn't he?
And we're in 2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
I mean, I don't care who directs Star Wars. I mean, who the hell is unironically watching all of the Star Wars movies nowadays? Total nerds, that's who.
Of the Sith Army! Anger is not the way of a Jedi!
But it is a bit annoying. Like, you'd think if they'd just hired her and it was purely about her ability as a director, and she might be a great director, I wouldn't know or care. Why do they need to mention that she's a woman of colour? Surely that undermines the fact that you've hired her. If you hire her and she happens to be a woman of colour, then you don't make a big deal out of it. Nobody else is going to make a big deal out of it. Certainly going to make less of a big deal out of it.
What is the balance of activating a force for change, but also trying to permeate that patriarchy, that power structure? And is that a part of the calculation of your art as well? And what's been the reaction to that?
It needs to make a political statement, yeah? Very strong political statement.
Does it?
Now, I might be mental, right, but I think an industry like film directing, being a director in the movies in Hollywood, is kind of a pretty exclusive club. Not many people in the history of the world have ever been very successful in that industry. So I think if I were a film director and a woman of colour, and I might be, you don't know, if that were my situation, I was trying to work my way up in Hollywood and whatever, and I perceived that it was this tyrannical system completely dominated by white men, and they were the people who held all the power, I think I probably wouldn't want to make too fine a point about the fact that I'm a woman of colour and that it's so difficult for me. Okay, I think I'd probably want to put all of 100% of my effort into my directing and perfecting my art and proving to the other people, all these nasty old white men in the industry, that I'm just as good, if not better than them. Maybe then, once I've reached the pinnacle and everyone just agrees that I'm the greatest director of all time, I shit on Steven Spielberg, right? Then I can say, this is disgusting, this can't go on. It seems to me as though these people don't really believe what they're saying.
Oh, absolutely. I like to make men uncomfortable.
Yeah, I like to make women uncomfortable.
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
Why would you enjoy making anyone uncomfortable? Seems like a bit of a red flag. The crowd are going wild. They love it. Listen to them cheer.
I enjoy making men uncomfortable.
I enjoy making women uncomfortable.
Woo! Not you. Just
not you.
Not you.
Point taken. Point taken.
Beta!
But, it is important to be able to look into the eyes of a man and say, I am here, and recognize that.
I'm here. Recognise that, love.
And recognize that I am working to bring something that makes you uncomfortable, and it should make you uncomfortable because you need to change your attitude.
I'm working on something to make you uncomfortable. It should make you uncomfortable. You better change your attitude, sweetheart.
And it's only when you're uncomfortable, when you're shifty, when you have to have difficult conversations, that you will perhaps look at yourself in the mirror and not like the reflection, and then say, maybe there is something wrong with the way I think, or maybe there is something wrong with the way I am addressing this issue.
It works both ways. Often I tell my wife, I have to shake you up a bit, and then maybe you'll go away and reflect on all the things that you're doing wrong. Go and have a look at yourself in the mirror, I say, Anna, all right? And then come back and tell me what you've been doing wrong. Anyway, we're going to take a look at a clip now from an interview with Carrie Fisher back in the day. A lot of people have been posting this clip on Twitter, or X, should I say, whatever it's called now. Marathon bars, opal fruits. And anyway, I think people are posting this clip of Carrie Fisher talking about her role in Star Wars as Princess Leia, and her saying how it's kind of about female empowerment and all that stuff. To sort of say that, it's always been about feminism or whatever. I'm not so sure she's right, though. I'll just let you see it, first of all.
What appealed to me was that George Lucas, who wrote it and also directed it, didn't want a damsel in distress, didn't want your stereotypical princess, sort of a victim. Frightened, incapable of dealing with a situation without the guys. So he wanted a fighter. He wanted someone who was independent. And that's what appealed to me about that part, yeah.
Now, I'm sure George Lucas said that to Carrie Fisher to, sell the role to her. But the fact of the matter is, her character was captured and enslaved by a giant slug that then proceeded to parade her around semi-naked, with a leash around her neck, until the men came and saved her.
Come on.
Let's go, and don't forget the droids.
The difference between what George Lucas sold to Carrie Fisher to what she actually had to do in the film is enormous. But again, that was in the third film, wasn't it? The very skimpy clothes and the dog leash around her neck. I guess she was under contract and couldn't get out of it at that point. But it couldn't be. She must have had a conversation with George, similar to the one about the sexist album cover in Spinal Tap.
They don't like
Well,
the
that's
cover.
certainly straight.
They find it very offensive and very sexist.
Well,
And
what exactly do you find offensive?
Ian,
what's
you
offensive about
put a greased, naked woman on
Yes.
all fours
Yes.
with a dog collar
With a dog
around her
collar.
neck and a leash.
And a leash.
And a man's arm extended out up to here, holding on to the leash and pushing a black glove in her face to sniff it. You don't find that offensive?
No,
You don't
no.
find that sexist?
This is 1982,
That's
Bobby,
right,
come
it's
on.
1982. Get out of the 60s. We don't have this mentality anymore.
Well, you should have
Listen
seen
to
the
me.
cover they wanted to do.
I don't
It
care
wasn't
what
a
they
club,
want.
believe me.
See, now,
I don't know. It kind of seems a bit ridiculous, this whole thing, to me. Discussing the colour of skin or the sex of multi-millionaires. Hollywood directors. Who cares whether they're men or women or black or white, whatever. We're talking about 1 in a billion people who are who are working at the highest end of an industry. I mean, it really doesn't. I don't think it makes any difference to the everyman. You and me, right? I, however, do have a dream of starting a small business, and I'd like it to have a Star Wars themed car wash. It would be called Star Wash. Right, I'd have to run it out of New York or something, because it kind of doesn't work in English. Star Wash. No, but Star Wash. That kind of sounds like you're saying Star Wars, doesn't it? And I'd have a very diverse staff, all the different races working for me, and they would all dress up as Chewbacca, right? Even in the sweltering heat of the New York summers, when we presumably get the bulk of our business. That's when people wash their cars, isn't it? The hot weather, the nice weather. They'd all dress as Chewbacca. I would demand that they don't really speak to the customers. That would be kind of my job. I'd be the salesman. All right? I'd be the pretty face running Star Wars. Right? And all the diverse crew, they would have to communicate with sounds, Chewbacca sounds. They'd all go at the clients, okay? Whenever they ask them for some hand wipes or whatever, they'd go and get the hand, give them to it, right? That's what I'd do. And I'd have women as well. Obviously not doing any of the greasing, the difficult work like that. No, the secretary, the gal I'd have running the paperwork and stuff and whatever. And she'd be dressed as Princess Leia. Even in the freezing winters, she'd be wearing that skimpy Princess Leia outfit. And I'd have her chained by the neck to the desk. And, that's my dream. And that's where diversity matters. Grassroots, small and medium-sized businesses. That's where I would make sure that we have some kind of equity. All right? Let's take a look at a few of the funny memes people have come up with. AI-generated Star Wars memes about diversity and stuff. You're a creative bunch. Okay, so here we have Dylan Mulvaney as Princess Leia. Very funny. And here we have a body-positive Star Wars. Very nice. And here we have a purple-haired sort of gender-neutral Jedi-type character. Very nice. Good job. Whoopi Goldberg as Yoda. Excellent. Obese Darth Vader with afro. And a similar concept from this gentleman here, except it's a female Darth Vader. Very good. Well, I don't know about you, but I've really enjoyed today's video, so let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a like if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe, you're not going to lose anything. I'll see you in the next one.